Will WWE actually do this with Roman Reigns? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and why I actually think it's going to happen. Look, Roman Reigns, whether you like him, you don't, you're a fan, you're a hater, you got to put some respect on this man's name. He is our tribal chief. He was one of the longest reigning WWE champions in history, the longest reigning of modern times. Dude was legit. He came back better than ever, recreated himself, launched a faction that changed the course of wrestling history. That character, the tribal chief, is like nothing that I've ever seen and probably something that I will never see going forward. What he was able to do by elevating the likes of Jay and Jimmy and Solo, and now he's brought in the Tongas, and he's brought in Jacob Fatu, and there's probably more going on. This Bloodline storyline has been building and building and building for years, and it's something that I have really, really enjoyed. Something that started in the pandemic, him coming back, saying, Vinnie Mac, you're a horrific person, but if I'm going to return to your company, I want to turn heel and I want to do things my way. And with the help of Paul Heyman and various others, he has done just that. A long championship reign, helping his cousins, helping his family become what they have become, becoming one of the biggest stars in the history of the pro wrestling business, a legitimate mover. He moves merch, interest, social engagements, television ratings, gates, attendance, you name it. Any business metric, this man does. But we have not seen him since WrestleMania 40. First night, he and The Rock went over Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Night 2, he dropped the undisputed WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes. He took time off. Since then, Solo Sikoa, he's brought in the Tongas, he's brought in Fatu, he has formed a new bloodline, he has kicked Paul Heyman to the curb and has declared himself as a new tribal chief. He is days away from challenging Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship, a match in which will likely headline SummerSlam, a SummerSlam card in which features Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, which features CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Gunther, Bayley, Nia Jax. Okay, maybe that last one was a little bit of a stretch, but you get my point. This is a loaded card. And there's one match. There is one match that is going to headline this show. Do you know what that is? I can tell you what that is. That's Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. Why? That's not the biggest match on the card. Heck, that's not even the biggest match on SmackDown. What are we doing? I'll tell you. Roman Reigns is going to return, y'all. You have speculated it. I have speculated it. I think we should put that speculation to a side. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, of course, we're not going to get Roman versus Solo right away. No, we got to wait for it. Calm your jets. It's going to be okay. We're going to get the match. Just calm down. But when we do, which I anticipated being at WrestleMania, well, I don't know about you, but I'm looking really forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be one of the best matches. Let me rephrase that. Hang on. I was about to go on a really weird take there for a second. I am not saying that Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns is going to be the greatest match of all time, one of the best matches of the night, the greatest match of the night. No. Not saying that. The build to this WrestleMania match, that is going to be legit because we already know that Rock is going to be coming back, right? They've already teased it. Heck, the build, Rock versus Cody was bigger than the tag team match. It was bigger than Roman, Cody. It was bigger than anything. We know we're getting Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania 41. It makes a lot of sense to save such a epic storyline, the conclusion of it, for a WrestleMania. It also gives Roman and Solo something to do in a meaningful way. You could legitimately have Roman Solo headline night 1, Rock versus Cody night 2. That is a reasonable ask. That is a reasonable expectation. And then WrestleMania 42, something in which has been reportedly discussed. Then you go ahead and you have Rock versus Roman, something the Rock wanted to do at WrestleMania this year. And then they tried to do it, and people are like, what? No. And then things took off, right? Like that's that's what we're going to get. Now, I also wanted to touch upon something that I thought was quite interesting in regards to the situation involving CM Punk and his freaking contract. Have y'all heard about this? My Lord, have they talked about this a lot. Look, there's been a lot of conflicting reports about CM Punk's WWE deal, but what is clear is Punk won't be going anywhere anytime soon. The confusion all started when it was initially reported that Punk was just trying to restructure his WWE deal after his return to WWE in November at Survivor Series. However, Wrestle Purist, who first reported the news about Punk, also noted that Punk was believed to be under a 3-year deal, something in which PW Insider reported. Dave Meltzer, he kind of muddied the waters. He reported that Punk was under a short-term deal with rollovers and that is expiring, and the two sides are working on an extension. Whether or not WWE added time to his deal due to the missed time due to injury, well, that remains to be seen. Now, PW Insider, they came out with a detailed report noting that Punk's current deal was interesting. It was interesting because the two sides are currently talking about a new deal, and WWE approached Punk about working on a new deal. But it was said because of the amount of interest and amount of business that he has been able to generate, they wanted to do a bigger deal with more inclusions. Now, Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that the new deal was to replace the original deal, because the original deal came together over the course of a few days heading into his return. And it was expected that they would come around this time to redo the deal by having new inclusions in said deal. That's all it is. Now, Punk is slated to take on Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam, so keep all that in mind.